girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Good morning. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I don't know why I thought it was Monday. Morning guys. Welcome back. Margin, Pat, Dino, Anna, Golf. Morning guys. Jacob. Robert. Morning, Foolish. Nemo, I'll have to check. Good morning, Nvidia. Bonjour. Buenos dias. All right. Thursday, August 29th. And we have the Nvidia earnings out of the way. And unfortunately, we are still in the same channel. That is not ideal. Same channel. But some interesting levels today being respected. Some interesting levels today being respected. A little bit of QQQ 474. That SPY 555 level held this morning. The ES 5610, 5615 is very interesting today. And then that Nasdaq 19500. So some pretty clear levels across the board. So I'm interested in today's price action. I think there are some very clean levels to play off of. We'll have to see what Nvidia looks like post earnings. And then we'll also have to see how this GDP comes out. So I think some very clean respects this morning off of hold levels and some rejection levels. Golf Nut, appreciate that. I'll definitely, what do you want, Golf? You want 10 on black, 10 on red? You let me know. I'll send you the winnings if it's whatever if I win. Let me know you want that $10 on, man. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. GDP is at 8:30 today, so in about 28 minutes, 27 minutes, we got GDP. That's going to be our next event of the morning, hopefully giving us some, insight into the next move. But before that GDP, there are some levels that I want to talk about here that are very clear and should give us some idea of what to look for today. 10 on 34. 34, is 34 even on the board? Yeah, it's up to 36. 34, I like 10. These are my numbers right here. 7, 9, or actually 5, 7, 9, 11, 15 every once in a while, 20, 22 for sure. My biggest numbers are 7, 9, and 22. 7, 9, and 22. I always put some size on the 7, the 9, and the 22. Those are my roulette numbers. 19. We like 19. You play craps. Morning, guys. Welcome back. So, a little bit of insight into my last 4 days, guys. Pretty much all this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, including Friday of last week, have just been not my best days. Definitely in a little bit of a rut here on my trading. Been very open about it with the group and tried to share it as much as I can here as well. Just haven't really been able to find opportunities that I trust fully. Yesterday was a little bit better. Felt a little bit better yesterday. Had some shorts on Tesla off that 210 level. That was really nice. Faded that 210 level clean. That was really the best trade of the day for me yesterday. Besides that, it was sort of walk away, take that green, and keep grinding. This continues to be my mindset. So, one and done type of mindset is definitely where I think I need to stay for now. One and done, take that one trade, get out, and just start building that confidence back, that momentum back. Just hasn't been as clean as I like, for myself at least, over the last few days. But I've been here 1,000 times. I'm not concerned at all. Been here 1,000 times. I know exactly how to get myself out of it. But that's part of the game, right? So, yeah, hopefully, after this week, we get this Nvidia out of the way, we get this GDP out of the way, hopefully find ourselves outside of this channel at some point soon, and then we start firing on all cylinders again. But just staying open, guys. I like to talk about it. I'd rather talk about it than, hide it. It makes me feel better. It hopefully gives you some idea that this does happen even after some really successful trades. You always have some ups and some downs and some ruts and some really hot streaks, and you guys have seen pretty much all of that. So a little bit of a rough streak for me, but we keep showing up. So I'll let you guys know, once I start firing and feeling better. But yeah, that's that. Just being open with you guys. Britt, appreciate that. Vegas money. Appreciate that, Britt. Britt Fisher. Thank you for that. Thank you for the donation, my friend. Okay, let's jump into it. Again, make it real clear real quick as we have some of you here. I'll make this apparent again later. I am not going to be here tomorrow, so this is the last day of the live streams. T8, yeah, I mean, the technicals are still very nice, Hoxton. There's nothing that I'm looking at, and the technicals on the overall market that I think are wrong. It's just how I've been playing it, right? It's how I've been executing the game plan. The technicals are spot on. Every day, the levels are correct. There's still that second part of trading, and it's executing it, right? You can have great levels, but you need to execute it well. So I've been having the great levels, but I've been executing it incorrectly. So that's really it. So in terms of what I'm looking at in my analysis, I am not concerned in the slightest. I know that's still very correct, but I need to execute better on my game plans. That is where I've been a little bit sloppy. And so just got to start tuning that in a little bit. So that's that. Let's get started. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And here we go. Economic calendar. Let's start there. GDP. That's really it. Right here. That's today. You guys can see GDP and the unemployment claims. That is at 8:30 today. Let's watch that, right? That's very clear. 8:30, very clear. Let's just wait for that today. We'll do a little bit of analysis before it. We'll get a little bit of an idea on the futures before it, and then we will see what the event does live, right? We'll see what the market does live, and that is that. Home sales at 10 o'clock, natural gas storage 10:30. That's about it. Tomorrow, PCE price index, personal income, personal spending, 10 o'clock consumer sentiment. All right. So today, big event, GDP. Yesterday, earnings on Nvidia, earnings on CrowdStrike, and earnings on CRM were the big ones. CRM actually broke above a pretty key level here, this 267 and the 200 SMA. This is something that I am interested in today, watching that. CrowdStrike did fine, pulled back to the daily 20 SMA and holding pretty well. I think a pretty clean pullback on CrowdStrike to this 20 SMA, something that I would be watching today if I look at this hourly chart. CrowdStrike, nice little pullback to that daily 20 around our 252. So that's something to watch there. And then NVIDIA, obviously we'll go over NVIDIA in some great detail today. 116, 20 SMA holding strong, but still stuck under that 125. So a very clear little channel here today on NVIDIA. Under 125, above 116. You are pretty much just stuck right in the middle, which is just not, it's just not fun, right? I don't like that. Get us out, right? Let us break out to either side. Get us going. Now, this rejection of 125 could be a really interesting trade today. That could be something to watch. So we'll talk a little bit more about it in just a second. Let's start with the Nasdaq futures. So funny thing, if you guys remember maybe back last week, we were having a conversation here in the live stream about, hey, we might need to give back that Thursday upside, right? Remember this? We talked about this. Hey, we might need to give back that Thursday upside. We might need to come back down to that 20 and 100 SMA. That is exactly what we did yesterday. And you can see the buying that's coming off that level. So this is interesting, right? It did ultimately do that sort of idea we had. Hey, if we break that 19.5, we may come back down to that 100 SMA, back down to that 20 and 100 SMA, back down to that Thursday level, fill that Thursday gap up move, that pre-market gap up move, and that is exactly what we did. So that's very interesting. That was a really key level, and we went straight up, we went straight down, and we're going right back straight up. So this is sort of that vacuum zone because of, this straight up move. There's a low volume in this area, and you can very clearly see the moves that are going on under that 19.5 and into that 100 SMA and 20 SMA around 19.150. So a pretty interesting hold of the 20 and 100 SMA here when we go out to the 4-hour chart. That's a very interesting spot to be watching, right? This little previous low right here from that Thursday spike, we basically gave it back on the earnings yesterday on Nvidia post-earnings, and we saw that 20 and 100 SMA step up pretty aggressively. So that's going to be a new big spot down there to watch near that 20 and 100 SMA. We can clearly see how the market reacted after testing down in that zone, right? This was pretty much futures open. We had a little bit of downside on the futures open, and then right around 1845, which is what? 1845 is around 19 is 6, 7, so that's what, 7? That's 7 o'clock, right? Around 7 o'clock is 19. I think I'm correct by that. Yep, I think it's 7. Yep, 7 p.m. So around 7 p.m. last night in the futures open, we pretty much just started to find that strength off that 20 and 100 SMA down there. And since then, it's just been sort of this grind higher. Now, this grind higher is into a very potential failure level, right? It is into a very potential failure level. And this goes to on the NASDAQ. This also is shown on the QQQ, which we're about to talk about in a second. 19,500, this 19,500, which was a very clear rejection spot yesterday after failing it, is exactly where we're sitting right now. So it is pretty damn clear here on the NASDAQ futures that we need to be above 19.5. If we are living below 19.5, below these lows here, and we're living below these lows here, then I think this could still stay weak, right? We need to get over 19,500 on the Nasdaq futures. If we do not, that is a very clear previous day rejection point that is rejecting right now, right? Very, very clear there. So it's a lot about 19.5 for me today. This is going to be 100% a level that I just stare at and wait to see a reaction at. Could we see that morning downside off of it? Maybe GDP sort of confirms that a little bit. Or does maybe GDP confirm that we get above it and we start to hold above it? If we do hold above 19.5, right? If we do hold above that 19.5 today at some point, then I would expect us to trade back into that 50 SMA. That's that 19,680 level. We'd probably see some kind of a push back up into this 50 SMA, back up into this 19,680. That 19,680 and 50 SMA rejection level was really beautiful early morning yesterday. This was exactly why I took some Tesla puts early morning yesterday. We had a nice 210 rejection on Tesla, and we lined it up with the Nasdaq 50 SMA, and that was finally a nice catch on the downside that I caught yesterday. So that was really clean. We had that Tuesday high at that 50. We saw those rejections come in yesterday. A very beautiful fade off that exact level yesterday morning. So very nice levels, right? Levels are leveling. There's no doubt about it. Levels are leveling. 19,680, without a doubt, clear level. 19,500, without a doubt, clear level. And so today we are looking to see if this stays as a failure or if we reclaim it, right? That's really the key of the day. Are we above 19.5 or do we reclaim over 19.5? That is going to be pretty much I think, one of the most important things to watch today, okay? So that is very nice. 19.5 NASDAQ futures. Keep an eye on that level today. That is our exact 474 level. That is our exact 474 level that we have talked about for 2 weeks now, right? How important has that 474 been? After we failed that 474 yesterday, you saw the downside that came in, right? We tried to hold it early morning. We failed it, and the downside came in, and it stayed weak below it. Today, we can see we are right back at that 474. We are right at it once again. On the hourly chart here, look how clear this is. Previous lows, and we are right underneath it. So this is, again, the major thing to watch. We must watch 474. We have to understand what's happening here. If we are rejecting under 474, that is still potential weakness, right? If you are under this level, you are turning Mondays, Tuesdays lows into rejection points. That is still stair-stepping downside, right? That is still stair-stepping downside. If we stay under 474, that means the market can remain weak, in my opinion. If we get over 474 and we reclaim it, that would be where I think this market can try to push back higher into this high from yesterday, around 478.50. That is only on a strong reclaim of 474 and a strong reclaim of the 50 SMA. That is the exact move that I would be watching. I would be watching for the fade today of 474, and I would be watching for the reclaim of 474. That would be the exact same thing as the Nasdaq 19,500, right? See how clean that lines up today? That's what I really like about the price action so far this morning. That cleans up and that lines up very, very nicely. So that is a really nice way to structure your morning. 474, 19.5, that's such a clear spot to be watching. Let's make sure we keep an eye on that today. S&P 500, a little bit stronger, right? And actually has reclaimed the level already, which is why the S&P is interesting as well. So S&P 500, we had that 56, if you guys should remember this, we had that 56.15 to 56.10 zone. We've been talking about this zone, right? We've been talking about that low, the lows, right? Those lows that continued to hold this market higher. And yesterday, it was probably the most perfect rejection below it, right? Look at how clean that is. We had that 56.15 level on our charts all week. We had that previous low from Tuesday, right here. Look how beautiful this was yesterday. Nice little low here on Tuesday, 56.10, 56.15, which kept that market higher. Look at yesterday's rejection, guys. The exact level, right? Right below that previous low. That's a very clean break, retest, rejection, right, of that previous day low. Beautiful. Very clean. So that's very clear. That's very clear. And even late day, right? Again, another rejection. 56.15, 56.10, 56.15, 56.10. Just could not get above that zone and kept us lower. Now, this is the interesting part, right? This is where it gets very interesting. Look at this morning. Look at this morning. Look at what is happening this morning on the ES. This is huge. This is very important, okay? We have to hold this level on the S&P 500. We must maintain over 56.15 to 56.10, right? That is a very important reclaim that is holding right now in the pre-market. This must hold. If we do not hold this zone, we flush back lower, right? If we get back under this zone, if we fail at these failure points again today, right? If we start to see failures right here again today, then that is very clearly a reason to think that this market is continuing lower. That is very clean, okay? So right now, you are simply going to watch, does this maintain? If so, then I would say cautious on the downside, right? This, you have to use this in conjunction with the QQQ. You have to watch both, right? You cannot short the Qs here, in my opinion. You do not want to short the Qs here at 474 if the ES is over this level, okay? This is where you can get faked out, right? Maybe you get a little bit of QQQ downside off 474, but then the ES holds this level and pushes back higher, and then the QQQ pushes as well, right? So what I would do if you want to look short the Qs today or look short the Nasdaq, I would want the ES to fail under this level. If the ES fails under this level, then I think you have a confirmation on both markets to really short aggressively, all right? So if the ES fails 56.10 today and gets below, right, then I think you can aggressively look for that short on 474. You know, it might be a little bit lower at that point, but at least you have confirmation of continuation if the ES is under 56.10, 56.15, right? So that is a very clear sort of read that I would have today. Must watch this zone here at 56.10, 56.15. This is, right, the major lows that came in all of the last 2 weeks, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here. And you can see yesterday right there, and you can see this morning right there, right? It's the exact level. So that is very clear. That is something I would very, very, very closely watch. SPY. What level was our major level, right? What was our major level on the SPY? It was 555, right? 555. Very, very clear, right? We had that 555. We had that 555. And again yesterday, 555. So the SPY has done nothing of breaking down, right? The SPY has not broken down any key levels. This was really the big kahuna, man. This was the flip, right? This is the flip. If we start to see the market trade like this, under this, that's the clear flip, right? But the ES once again kept itself alive, right? Once again, the ES kept itself alive over 555. So that is very important today. That is something you need to pay attention to. If we were to live right, if we didn't get this upside this morning and we started, the market opened today, we were on this live stream right now, and the ES, the SPY, was just sort of trading right here, that would be like the ultimate, hey, this thing does not look good, right? If we were trading underneath this 555 this morning, I'd be like, hey, that is a very clear flip below that low, and this channel is probably invalidated now, right? So for now, we have to respect that 555 stepped up once again on the SPY, and that is very important. And if we go to the 4-hour chart, that is the exact previous highs. Look at this. 555, 555, 555. And again, that thing steps up. So that is something you must pay attention to here, right? That is something you must pay attention to here. You can very clearly see that 555 level, which is this major previous downside level, right? Look at that, right off 555, right here, right off 555, and right now you are holding above that level. So that is the big level to watch throughout the rest of the, who knows, however long it takes for the market to make a direction. This level must hold true. If this level fails, that is how you know that this SPY is flipping to the downside. For today, these are the levels I'd watch. I would watch this previous 558 low. You can see right here, 558. I would watch that. I would also watch this 559 level, 558, 559. 559 is, let me just draw this out really quick. 559 lines up with that 5610, 5615 zone on the ES. That is right here. You can see from yesterday, this 559 level that rejected. It's right around these previous lows, right? You can see that 559 failure yesterday, and right now you can see that 559 is holding up, right? So 559, that looks very important for me on the SPY. That lines up very cleanly with that ES right here, this ES action right here, and this Tuesday low. That lines up very nicely with this 559 zone. It could be a little bit lower, right? You can probably say it's like, maybe like 558.50. You know, it could be a tad bit lower, maybe 558.50 if you want to get those wick lows there and sort of include some of those wicks as well. It's a little bit of a zone, right? It seems like it's maybe around that 559 to around 558.50, right? Which is also sort of, the same as that ES. It's a little bit of a zone down here. I'd say it's anywhere in that zone right there, right? This low, these highs, and sort of this general zone here, 558.50, 559 is sort of that zone that I'd be watching. Okay. Let me zoom out real quick, see if there's anything else I want to cover there. I mean, the 558 level is big as well. You can see these lows at 558. Go back into the 15. Yeah, I think it's like, I think I want to watch, I think I'm going to take the 558 off my charts for now, because I truly believe if you flip back under these highs from yesterday, then things start to weaken, right? If you flip back under those rejection points from intraday yesterday, I do not like upside, right? I think that's very clear. If you start to see rejections under this area that rejected the market all afternoon yesterday, I don't think you want to look long, right? So that's right in that 558.50 to 559, right? Anywhere in there, if you do not hold above these previous highs from yesterday, then I think this could, right, start to get weak again, right here, right? Same spot it got weak yesterday, right? See this? That's very clear. So that's the level I'm going to keep in my charts there, 558.50, 559. That's that previous intraday rejection point. That is the level that's trying to hold above today on the SPY. That's a must hold. Okay. IWM, pretty interesting IWM chart here. I think this is a really interesting looking pullback on IWM personally. You can see right here, double top highs at 216. That is the exact level we traded back to on this little flag pattern, right? See this? This is interesting, right? Little downside on the IWM over the last few days, right? Back into this 216 double top high right here. Previous high, bam, bam. Got a little bit of a push today. If IWM can hold above 218, then I think this could potentially continue. That's a must hold at 218, right? That is a must hold at 218. 218, 216, a little bit of a, dare I call it, inverse head and shoulder, right, off 216. That is a very interesting look on the IWM today. I would definitely be watching small caps. If IWM maintains 218, this looks like a little inverse head and shoulder to me for that push into that 220 again. I would watch this. I would make sure you're above 218. If you fail under 218, this breaks down, right? Idea breaks down, no longer valid. Must hold 218. Big watch there. That's pretty clean. Okay. Let's go Mike Jones, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, man. He's going to suck this year, huh? Dow Jones strong again, man. 41,100 holding very strong, pushing up aggressively. Dow looks ready for all-time highs. I mean, is this all-time highs? It pretty much is, isn't it? One second. All right. My bad. Had to clear something up. So, yeah, Dow looks strong, right? That 41,100, very strong. And all-time highs are where? 41,672. I mean, this thing's just been sort of beastie, has it not? This thing's been beastie. So, 41,100 looks to be a clear little structure point right there, does it not? That looks good. All right. So, data, GDP, press that like button. Come on. Press it. Press it for me. All right, so I'm going to keep the ES up here, and I want to see if the ES stays above this zone right now. That's what I'm looking at. That is what I'm looking at. Press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Data in 30 seconds. I'd appreciate it, guys. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see what the data does. Data dog. How's Data Dog doing? D-Dog? I haven't watched that stock in a long time. D-Dog. Why is Apple flying? I don't know. Apple's just a freight train. It's just a freight. Okay. A little up. Not a whole lot. Really not a whole lot. GDP, good number. 3% versus 2.8. That's a pretty clean hold right now. Jobless claims, 231 versus 232. Yeah, nice push. Why market flying? It's GDP number, man. I don't know. GDP came in good. 3% versus 2.8. So market's reacting positively off that. You can see that very clean ES hold, 56.10, 56.15. Did the Nasdaq get over? QQQ still under 474 though. That's a watch. You got to be careful here. QQQ still under 474 though. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's got to break. I want to see that break. I want to see that QQQ over the 50. That would make me a lot more confident. ES nice though, man. That is a very nice break and retest this morning for a little futures action. That's a very nice little action there, right? Very clean. Little this, little that, right? Right back to those. Little hey, how you doing? Right? That's just a really nice little setup there. Really nice little setup. Previous highs into the exact low. Little break, little retest, little upside. Really clean, right? Regardless of what this is doing, that is just technically sick. It's sick to see. Can QQQ get over 474? Can QQQ get over 474? That is the question. What's Nvidia doing? Not much, man. Not much. Not that much. Apple's a juicer this morning. Tesla off the 200 is really coming back strong. Yeah, Tesla off the 200 SMA. That was a nice little catch there. Microsoft off the 200 SMA is my next something we're going to watch we're going to talk about in just a second. This is a big watch for me. Microsoft off the 200 SMA. Tesla off the 200 SMA. Two big stocks off 200 SMAs. Something to watch there. Nasdaq. Yeah, you're still under that 474, and you're still not through that 19.5 with confidence. So this is still questionable. We're going to have to watch this at the open, guys. This is going to take some patience. All right? This is going to take some patience. So we got to be careful here. We got to get through these levels with confidence on the Nasdaq futures and the QQQ. Well, let's take a look at the SMH. SMH, I think, needs to get over this 100 SMA today. SMH needs to start living over the 100 SMA for semiconductors to find some juice behind them. Right now, the SMH is just sort of failing this 100 SMA level. It failed it yesterday, and it's sitting right below it today. So if you're looking at semiconductors today, I would want the SMH over 240. 240 looks to be the big spot. I think SMH needs to live over 240 for semiconductors to stay strong today. 240 lows, 240 failed yesterday, 240 is the 100 SMA. You need us above 240 on the SMH. Okay? That's something I would watch today. All right, let's jump into some stocks. Tesla. Tesla 200 SMA. This is a very big spot for Tesla. Let's look at it right here on the hourly chart. You can see right here, right? Previous lows. At this 200 SMA, 203, 203, 203, 203, right? And pretty much over the last week and a half, you have held that, or you have come back down to that 203 level, right? So that 203, that 200 SMA, that is a big spot, okay? That is a big spot to be watching today. See what Tesla does off this 203. This is an interesting little downtrend that's been formed over the last week and a half, right? You can see sort of this downtrending move that's been sort of going on, and it has pulled back right into that 200 SMA. And it is finding some support off that level today. So what I would look for today is right here. I would look to see if Tesla can reclaim this zone. If Tesla can reclaim 211 and hold above it, then I would be interested to see if this starts to flip. But for now, you can see that those upside supplies continue to turn into new lows, or continue to turn into new highs, right? Every previous level is turning into new highs, which is why this is stair-stepping down. So this is 203. That is a must-hold level. I would look for two things today. Number one, I'd look for the fade at 210 if the NASDAQ rejects, right? If we see that NASDAQ reject 19.5, that QQQ reject 474, you are looking for Tesla to fade 210, right? That is a beautiful setup today. I would watch that. Next setup I'd look for is if there is strength on the market, I would look to see if Tesla can reclaim over 210 to 11, get back above these rejections from yesterday, and if that is a catalyst for more upside. I would look for both sides on Tesla today. I think that's a very clear zone to be watching. Nvidia, stuck in a shit channel, man. But some key levels to be watching and potentially trade off of. Right here, 125, very clear. 116, very clear. So what I would look for today is a pop into 125, see if that fades. I would look for any kind of pullback to 116 as a potential opportunity, right, to see if there's a long there. But I would only trade NVIDIA here or here today. These look like the two major spots. There's a little bit something at 120. There has been something at 120 in the past. So 120 is a level in the past. So you can keep that 120 on if you'd like. I have had some action off 120 in the past, and I've traded it off 120 in the past. So you could possibly see something there. But I personally like the 125, and I like the 116. I'm going to sort of avoid that 120. It's just sort of right in the middle. I don't really want to mess with it. So I would prefer a little fade of 125, a little demand hold 116, or obviously if the market's strong today, I'd look for a reclaim and a hold above 125 for that long. Okay? What's NASDAQ doing? Yeah? Look at this. 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 It's tough there. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot, man. That's a tough spot. You better be watching that today. That's a tough spot. Okay. SMCI. So, obviously, SMCI clapped on Tuesday. 10K The 10K delay yesterday, what a drop. Absolute monstrosity of a drop. It looks like 410 is like the level that's trying to maintain itself for now. This goes back to all the way back here. 410 is this little low right here. If you break 410, that could get really ugly. Under 410, I think you're looking at like 355 here. Right? Look at this. Straight up. So, 410. And you can see how that 410 is reacting in the short term. That's going to be your level to watch, guys. Watch 410 on SMCI. That's like this little hold here. You can see some holds there yesterday. It did get underneath it yesterday and started to get some weakness, but sort of got bid back up by the overall market. I think the overall market just sort of kept it higher yesterday. But if you do get sort of that slide on the market today, under 410 is dangerous. So I would be watching this. Watch 410. That is the big spot. That is a must hold, or that thing is dead. The only thing I'd be careful of, guys, here's what I'd be careful of before trading SMCI. This is going to be very what's the word I'm looking for? It's not data dependent. It's going to be headline risk. There's going to be a lot of headline risk. And there clearly has already been headline risk, right? The headlines have controlled this stock, and there will be headline risk here again. So let's say SMCI comes out of left field with some kind of, hey, man, everything's fine. Don't worry about us. Whether that's true or not, it might cause the stock to pop or do something. So just got to be careful about that, right? If you're gonna trade this stock, I'm thinking about the Adams. Is it what is it? Where is it? Hey man, what is that from? It's from an Adam Sandler movie. Hey man, everything's fine. Don't worry about what's going on over here. What movie is that from? Someone's got to know what movie I'm talking about. Oh, the Soul Patch guy. Yeah. Brian, what movie is that? Just go with it. Just go with it. You guys, I'm hoping you've seen this. If you haven't seen this, watch this. This is a very funny skit. But yeah. Anyways, you gotta watch. You gotta watch for what happens. Potential headline risk, right? Tesla pretty strong. Pretty strong. All right, AMD. So pretty nice hold on this AMD right here on that 139. You are back above that 145. So I would watch AMD 145 today. Does AMD hold above 145 or does it move back below it? Right here. 145. 145, do you hold above this, right? Do you create this little inverse head and shoulder, and do you hold and reclaim that 145, right? Or does this fail back below? That's what I would be watching today, 145, 20 SMA. If you do get a strong hold today on the semis, then I think AMD could try to retrace back to this 152. That's something I would be watching. Broadcom, back above that 154, back above that daily 20, but this thing looks sort of dead in here, right? I don't know. This looks sort of dead to me. I would probably just be watching 162. I'm not really too interested there. MU, same. All these semis look the exact same, guys. Every semiconductor has the same little inverse head and shoulder formation. MU 94, need to hold above that. Maybe it trades back into these lows around 97, but I don't have high hopes for MU. This thing's pretty weak stock. I don't think this is the semiconductor to be trading. But you are holding back at some of these levels. This 94, this 92, you can see right here, you are holding above those. So there's an interesting, case for this maintaining this zone. But, yeah, we need the SMH to be over the 100 SMA. We need the SMH to be over the 100 SMA. If it does not, then this could stay weak today, under 240. Apple, strongest stock of the morning. Apple has held over 229. Let's see if it can maintain above 229, though. Apple has not been able to close the day above 229. You can see 229, 229, and this morning holding above 229, creating that upside move. But you need to see strong holds above 229 today. Microsoft, yeah, I'm interested in Microsoft, but obviously that depends on the market, guys. Depends on the market. So right now, Microsoft is at the 200 SMA as well, and this 410 level. I am interested to see if Microsoft can maintain that 200 SMA, right around here, this 200 SMA, and I want to see if it can maintain that 410. Something I will watch, see if it can get out of this downtrending move. Just because MU has components in all of our appliances does not make it a stock that I'm interested in trading. That means nothing. Right here, 410, right? And this little downtrend that's been created on Microsoft, I'm interested to see if Microsoft breaks out of this at some point. This is something I'll be continuing to watch. 410, that 200 SMA, big spot down there. Going to be monitoring that zone. Okay. What else? Netflix has continued to be a juicer, just sort of has continued to hold up. You can see right here, 680, 685, right? This whole zone has continued to maintain. Every push down into this zone gets pushed higher. So it looks like Netflix is just sort of bound for sideways right now, right? There's no holds above the 701 high. There's no maintains below these demands. It's pretty much just back and forth between, I say we just call it 680 to 700. Right? 680 to 700 right here. That's really, it looks like the zone to be watching. But I would really like Netflix to hold over 701 to get really nice upside. Or you can look to long the demand lows, right? Look to long the demand lows, short the supply highs. That's very possible as well. CrowdStrike real quick. CrowdStrike, not much. I would watch this 20 SMA. I would watch this 20 SMA on CrowdStrike right here. I think this is a pretty big spot. You can see these previous lows, CrowdStrike, these previous highs, CrowdStrike, and then that 252 level CrowdStrike. I would watch 252 CrowdStrike, and alongside of that, I would be watching PANW very closely. This looks very interesting on the 4-hour chart to me. You guys can see this 4-hour setup. You have these previous highs at PANW, 4-hour, at 345. You have these previous highs right here at 345, and look at just how beautiful so far that thing is holding 345. All right, so that's a setup if I've ever seen one. Now, I'd like it to get over 355 to really clear up, right? I'd really like this to get over 355 to really, get that move going. But this looks very nice, right? This looks very nice. 345, right? 345. And this little low that has been solidified for now over 345. So definitely watch that. That is very interesting to me at 345 on PANW. Okay. Meta, same levels. You guys can see right here, 523, the exact same levels we've been talking about all week. So 523 has got to get above it. 510 has been sort of that hold level. That 20 SMA has also been sort of interesting. But here's what I would be watching. There's a very clear channel on Meta here. It's right here. 510, 523. And right now, Meta is simply trading between it, right? You had this channel. You had this. Now you have this channel, right? Very clear. You had this channel. And now you have this channel. So if you want upside, you got to break back over 523. If you want more downside, you got to break under 510. If it's not that, then it's probably a bunch of this between 523, 510. Very nice. Very clear. What else? Google, really not much on Google, man. Watch 166.50. Amazon sort of came right back to that 168.77 level, right? That was that, really nice previous level that it squeezed off of. Came right back to it after gap filling. So that's interesting. I would look at Palantir today. Palantir gave you a really interesting retest of that 20 SMA. Take a look at this. Look at Palantir here, guys. Previous highs, Palantir, 29.83. And look at how it's holding that right at the 20 SMA. That's sort of interesting, right? That's sort of interesting. Is this a long opportunity on Palantir, right? Back to the 20, back to the retest. Is this a possible Palantir long entry for some people that have been sort of on the sidelines at that daily 20? Something to watch there. Sort of an interesting pullback. QQQ, where's it at? So we rejected the 474, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're sitting right there, man. Right? So here's what I'm talking about, guys. Okay? before I go, I'm going to reiterate this once again. Okay? And this is very actually, let me go Upstart. Yeah, Upstart and Affirm real quick. Affirm, guys, just watch 40, please, before we start chasing this. Please be careful of 40. Okay? This is a big level on Upstart. I'm sorry, on Affirm. Look at this 40 level. 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, right? 40, 40, 40, all 40. So 40, watch that on Affirm. If you can get over 40, that could be getting sort of interesting, but watch AFRM, watch 40. Okay, I want to talk about something before I go, and this is very important, guys. Again, I said earlier, before you short this QQQ 474 today, before you short the Nasdaq 19.5 today, you need to see confirmation under this level on the ES. This could maintain the ES higher, and it could create a very painful short on the Qs, right? You could try to short this 474, and the follow-through could be stalled by this maintaining. Okay, that is the problem with that short right now. If you short the Qs there, and this ES keeps wicking higher off this previous high from yesterday, right here, if that ES continues to hold this area and just keeps wicking higher, then that QQQ is not going to give you that downside continuation, and it's going to be a very painful short to get that to go lower. That downside move will come in, and it will get sexy if you can get under this ES level, right? If you can get a clear break back under this ES level, then I think you can get that downside continuation, okay? That is very nice. So that is must watch, okay? You got to get under that. If you can, I like it. But that is the exact level that's going to cause pain on that QQQ NASDAQ short under these 474s and under this 19.5, okay? I think that's pretty clean. I would be very closely watching that today. You got to watch that sort of relationship between the two. Upstart for margin, and then we'll get out of here. Upstart for margin, and we're going to get out of here. Margin, 43, man. Right here. Look at this thing. Look at this 43. 43. Yeah, that looks to be it. You got to get over that 43 right here. Got to hold above it. That's the key. You got to see something strong over 4.3. You're trying. You're trying. You can see how key this has been, right? 43 rejections, back above 43. Got to hold above it. All right. All right, guys. This is the last live stream of the week. Just a reminder for the 2,200 people that are here. No live stream tomorrow. I will be in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. So a much needed break. A sick month still, and I'll give you guys an update on my month to date. Still an awesome month for me, no doubt. But it has been sloppy. You know, this happens when I get... It's like that first period of you really pushed it and you started to find your limits, right? I think that's sort of what happened. So still a sick month, awesome month, not taking anything away from it, but a little bit sloppy over the last few days. And let's keep grinding. Let's keep grinding. And yeah, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday? No, not Tuesday. Monday, markets closed. Labor Day. Have a fantastic Labor Day on Monday. Markets closed. Do not show up. Tuesday, I will not be here. So Tuesday, unfortunately, not be here. Wednesday, we're back in the action. Wednesday, back in the action. That is Wednesday, September 4th. Wednesday, September 4th. Tomorrow and Tuesday, go check out Trade Brigade. Go check out TB. All right? Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel, guys. And I will see you on Wednesday. Peace out.